Bray-Dunes in particular, this was a locality where the Royal Engineers in particular gathered. Who's the Royal Engineer? Yeah. Right, so although your relative would have passed away by then, all his mates would have come here under normal circumstances. Royal Artillery guys, right. This would have been the first beat that the Royal Artillery lads were sent to, but slowly but surely they would have been sent that way, and they may have gone out on the mole as well. All right, we'll take a look at the mole tomorrow. So let's give you an idea of what was going on here. These Royal Engineer lads, they were looking at the problem of this beach, and so what they did was they gathered up all the vehicles at the same time, and they moved down onto the beach while the tide is out. Now the tide at the moment might look as if it's out, but it is actually not as far out as it can go. Can you see those buoys in the distance over there? The tide can go out that far. The reason why I'm hoping it seems here, but it's not. Give me a few more minutes, see if the tide goes out a bit further. Right, so what they did with these vehicles is they lined them up on the beach in a line going straight out into the sea whilst the tide was out. They put planks across the top, and when the tide came in, they acted as jetties. So now you could get larger small ships along the side of the jetties and speed up the evacuation. Now they built 3 of those jetties here, 1 at Bray-Dunes and 2 here, one of which was just down here. And of course, the troops were coming straight off the dunes, straight onto the jetty, into the small ships out to the large ships, but it was still taking about 24 hours to load up. Now, General Alexander had a bit of a problem here with not having enough small ships. So he called in one of his, and he may have known this captain by his first name. There's a good chance he would have done, because his name was John Spencer Churchill. That might ring bells with something else. Anyway, Alexander probably called him in and said, "Oh, Johnny, good to see you." He said, "Look, I need you to go home and have a word with your uncle, the Prime Minister." He said, "We need more of these small ships out here as soon as possible. Boats, anything that is small enough that we can get them onto the beach and we can evacuate from." Now, it just so happens there's a ship that's going back to the United Kingdom, back to Dover very soon. Go out there and get on it. And of course he goes, "Yes, sir." And so he came down here, down onto the beach, had a word with the beach master, because the Royal Navy was controlling all this by this stage now. It was the Royal Navy now in control. And so he went and had a word with the beach master, and he was told, "Get on that vessel over there." So he went over to this small, big rowing boat, whatever it may have been, and he got on board. But then the tide had changed. It had got stuck in the back end. In other words, it couldn't unbeach itself. So one of the Royal Navy guys said to 4 men, "You'll have to get off." They wouldn't get off. So John Spencer Churchill had to pull out his pistol and just put it up in the air and say, "Gentlemen, I'm on an important mission. I've got to go and see the Prime Minister. Would you be so kind as to get off?" They got off. So away he went. Now, in getting on board that vessel, he got wet because there was a bit of a, shall we say, tide. You know, a bit of surf, waves, etc. A bit like those waves out there at the moment. And so he got on board on the ship. A couple of hours later, he was back home in Dover. Now, he couldn't get on an evacuation train. All the evacuation trains were ready and to sort of take all the evacuated troops back to various locations throughout the United Kingdom. As far away as Scotland. They were being sent as far away as Scotland, Isle of Wight, down into Cornwall. And so he had to get a local train. And the local train stops at every station on the way up to London, and eventually gets to the outskirts of London, and the city gent gets on with a bowler hat on. And the city gent looks at John Spencer Churchill. Remember, he's a bit rough, he hasn't had a proper shave. smells a bit, you know, salt water, he's soaking wet and everything else. And the city gent feels sorry for him, puts his hand in his pocket and gives him 2.5 crowns. That's 25 pence if you don't know, you're too young, 25 pence. Like 25 pence, going to 2.5 crowns. He eventually pulled into Charing Cross. He went up to Downing Street and everybody there looked at him rather suspiciously, not knowing who he was. He announced who he was, then they told him Mr. Churchill's up at the Admiralty building, so he goes up to the Admiralty building, and of course he's now confronted with somebody who looks important, you know, far too important, you know, a bit like him, right? And he announces, I need to see the Prime Minister urgently, I've got a message here from General Alexander, and of course this official was going, well, the Prime Minister at the moment is just, he's partaking of his breakfast. Let me know who you are and I will then go and see him and see if he's available. And he said, well, I'm John Spencer Churchill. Come this way, please, sir. All right. So, knock, knock, knock. Door opens and Winston Churchill's there and the guy announces, there's Captain John Spencer Churchill here to see you, Prime Minister. Oh, Johnny, come on in. Tell me what's going on. So he walks in. And Winston Churchill's sitting there with an artist. He's a well-known war artist by the name of Joseph Long. So Johnny Churchill is debriefed by Winston Churchill, and of course Winston Churchill is now informed we need some more small ships, rowing boats, small motorboats, anything that's small. We need them over on the beaches as soon as possible. Fine. So the Prime Minister says to Johnny, well, what are you going to do now? Can you have some breakfast? So he had some breakfast. He said, no, I've got to go back over there. He said, I've got to maintain morale. He came back over here. After going all the way back home, he came back over here. But before he came back over here, Joseph Long, who is an artist, as I said, who may have given tuition to Winston Churchill, also knew that Johnny Churchill was also an artist, or somebody who dabbled in art. And so Joseph Long said to Winston, he said, do you think we can get him to draw what he's seen? And Winston Churchill said, yes. Now, I don't know whether you know this, folks. Before you go to sleep, you can draw something you've seen far better than after you have slept. It's atrophy. You know, you forget. And he was compelled to draw. In fact, Joseph Long got behind him from time to time and whacked him on the head with a bit of a newspaper to keep him awake. What you see here is what he drew, right? So we've got the dunes going down the side here. You see all that smoke coming up? That smoke was coming up from the fuel tanks, which, where you see those lights in the distance are, that's where the fuel tanks were. You can see all the troops on the beaches down here. What I was hoping was, you see these vessels where my finger is at the moment. You see where I've got my finger by these vessels here. These were wrecks. And there's 2 of those wrecks which are over here, and I was hoping that one of them might begin to show itself, but I don't think it is. We've got the Devonia and the Crested Eagle. Over 200 troops were burnt to death on the Crested Eagle. As a result, the Crested Eagle, where you see those lights in the distance where they left the mole, when it pushed off, it was bombed, and it was severely bombed, but the skipper went hard over and brought it around and brought it onto the coastline just here. But by the time he got here, over 200 of the lads have been burnt to death. Many of them have been killed by the bombing, but many of them have also been burnt to death because the only thing they could do was throw themselves in the sea to escape. That's what they could do. And also, take a look up in the sky. Can you see the anti-aircraft gun flashes? You can also see aircraft up in the sky. Also, just on our left hand, you see those yellow lights, those amber lights. Go to the left. Can you see the top of a large roof? That is Zydecoop Hospital, and that is Zydecoop Hospital just there. And that tower feature that you can see just by the smoke is the Hotel de Ville that I pointed out in Dunkirk just a little bit earlier. Folks, it's getting dark. Those pilgrims who want to get down on that beach, now's your opportunity. Go for it. Yeah, go for it. Don't lose me drawings. Don't lose me drawings. Don't lose me drawings, folks. Any pilgrim who wants to get down on the beach, now is your chance.